Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn. I have a twin flame read for everyone today, so take a deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings to you guys. Here's the read in front of you. Again, this is for all of the twins. This is the SIRIAN STARSEED deck, the main read. And here's the full read that's in front of you now. It's a 7-deck read. It's a lot of energy on the table. If something doesn't resonate with you, don't force it to fit. Okay, some messages may only be for one person, and then others may be for everyone. And it is for both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, within the masculine's masculine and feminine, and the feminine's masculine and feminine. If you should like anything from me, if you want a personal read, most of my information is below. But you can also go to my website at twinflames3344.com and reach out to me through twinflames3344@gmail.com. So today is the 6th of October. I did this read at 4:09 to 4:33 to 34 yesterday afternoon. For today, for October 6, 2020, the SIRIAN STARSEED deck cut at 4:09, which is the main deck for the read, and it was very interesting what came up today. So Salt was coming up again in this read. 4 and 9 is the Emperor and the Hermit. I finished the read at 4:33 to 34, which is 33 of the Christ vibration, the 7 of Wands, and 34 is the 8 of Wands, that the arrows of love, expression of feelings and desires, that fast-paced communication and travel, and the 33 of standing up for yourself, taking the high ground, taking the high road. So the day today is 20. It's the 6 of the Lovers and the 20 of the Judgment. So the Judgment of the Lovers. And judgment is just about making decisions for yourself, not for others. That's overstepping your boundaries when you choose to tell someone else what to do. So it's not to judge other people, and that's why you are told not to judge others, not to judge in general. It means to not make decisions for others and not condemn yourself for the decisions that you have made. Because as a human, you have to make decisions every day. So I finished the read at 4:33:34. The major arcana here were Solar Deity, which is the Sun, Chariot, Alchemy, which is the Temperance card, Strength, Tower, and Justice. And I always pull a few cards before and after the read. So before the read, the Lovers came up, and after the read, the Hanging Man and the Great Wheel also came up. There's 1 cup, 3 pentacles, so mostly pentacles, which isn't just money, it's time, money, effort, the energies of day-to-day life. And there was 1 wand and no swords whatsoever in this read, not for the main deck anyway. The Queen of Pentacles came up in the read, and the King of Pentacles, both of them upright today. And then after the read, the Knight of Cups, also upright, came up. We had triple 8s in the read today, very much about the twins dancing and then becoming the infinity of the infinity. And the number 6 also came up, so the lovers dance. The code line had no numbers associated with it, and teaching and learning. The other numbers that were in the read, we have 68, which is the Page of Pentacles. And in a lesser sense, 46, which is the 6 of Cups, the Children in the Garden. 89, which is the reflection of human body temperature, or as I like to say, the phi energy of expansion and then the need to contract and come back to center again. And 234, shut the door, also came up. That's it for the numbers. Not much in numbers today. So it starts out with the twin flames today. The twin flames, and the challenge being the Chariot. The block for the twins is the Queen of Pentacles, the very grounded, well-rounded, supportive, feminine energy. And the challenge being the Chariot, which is the ascension vehicle, the movement forward, the movement upward. And there's definitely, I'm feeling your stress, so there's definitely some anxiety in your tummy right now. It's not even, so much in my solar plexus. Is it lower than my solar plexus, like in my midsection? And oh, the core and the stomach intestines was coming up yesterday as the core in magnetic, in mag. Mag means all of those things. Yeah, maybe need magnesium as well. So you might want to check that out. Of course, that's not a doctor's advice. But a lot of people take a lot of calcium and then they don't have the magnesium to process the calcium. So in a lot of cases, people need magnesium. And to bring up mag, I did gymnastics. You know, we used to use mag for our hands, for the bars. That might be coming up for some reason. So yeah, a lot of stress, you guys, coming up in your tummy. So the twin flames, the key to expansion, toggling up the nightly grind, Sophie, which is Sophia, right? Sophie or Sophia. Sophie, the expansion and the need to contract and come back to center again. The chariot of the seven, the feminine within the masculine, ascending the bridge of the lap dance. The 2 4s together, the 3D number 8 is the 2 4s, and the secret chakra system that is between you, the kisses and hugs that are of your own and no one else's. The twin flame people, Sophie, so instead of saying so fly, the twins are Sophie. The vehicle of ascension, the divine feminine number 7 within the masculine, the bridge lap dance of the 60. So the number 60 came up, but also that can be 90 as well. And it can be the number 10 as well. So 10, 60, and 90. And 30 was coming up yesterday. Oh, that was interesting. So I went to look at a house. And it was very interesting because the house number was 701. And the last house I looked at earlier in the summer was 107. And then the number of the house adds up to 8. And the street was number 30, which is 8 is the dance, and then 30 is the union. So that was coming up, the 8 and 30, and then that's 38, which is the Queen of Cups, which is also my soul number. So it's very interesting how the Queen of Cups was coming up, very important at yesterday, and was very attached to the house I was looking at as well. So 30, 60, and 90 coming up, as well as 10, which is that high vibration, and the Wheel of Fortune. And the word Teague was coming up, so Cheryl Teague may come up for somebody. And also the word Ionad, I-O-N-A-D, which when you say te in Ionad, it literally means to leave your mark. Or Ionad, however it's pronounced. So the Teague, or the Te, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, or Te, is the place, the station, the rank, the post, the venue, the mark, the trace, the site, the area, the center, the core, the substitution, the succession, the website, the room, the office, the spot. So that's the name that came up here. It also means to, Te means to, that's actually the Ionad. The Te is the heat, the warmth, the kindle, the glow, to give that place warmth. So the Ionad is the place, and the Teague is the glow, the warmth, the making it your own, you know, giving that warm feeling. And that's an old Irish word. To inflame or overheat. So also coverings, cases, sheath, pollen, organ from Tekka was coming up. It also means twin layers of cells surrounding the basal lamina of the ovarian follicle, the exoskeleton of the coral polyp, or the calcareous wall of the corallite. A case for the corporal cloth, also used in the Eucharist. Also means to pierce or to stab, a case, an envelope, a sheath, like I said, the Tekka. Or Theka. So again, that's coming up yesterday, a second skin, right? Or thick skin was coming up, right? Or the support system of the divine feminine. And this is coming up as that same kind of energy. The twin flames toggling up to make, you're toggling up to make you numb, ... Next, it's like dealing with one, toggling up so you can be numb, just like, any kind of addiction, you do it to numb yourself. And then so that you can just go to the next, who's going to test me next, toggle up, get out of that, and then next, and so on. And then it says Sophie. So willing to expand and then come back to center. So it's like you're having fun testing yourself. How far can I expand out and still come back to center without falling off the ladder, so to speak, or falling off the horse? The sheath, the case, the envelope, the second skin, the piercing of the Rio, inflaming and overheating. And of course, Rio is very associated with that kind of energy. The twin flame hath not. And also the name Nathan was coming up. The twin flame hath not, Sophie. And here sodium was coming up with the Na. So sodium is natrium to the nth, sodium to the nth degree. And then the Na, which is atomic number 11, which is justice, truth, and balance, which is the reverse, right? The Na is a reflection of An. So I'll give you that information in a minute. It was very interesting. But the twin flame hath not, Sophie, twin layers of cells surrounding the basal lamina of the ovarian follicle, no, or Rio kindles, glows, and gives warm feeling to 90 or 60, or Sophia's chakra kissing and hugging. So the reflection of the Na and the An was very significant because salt came up as very significant yesterday. And salt is the salt of the earth. To be, to reign, right? To be is to have salt within your body, to reign. But salt's very much coming up as so I always talk about ultrasound gel and how that connects you to, to do an ultrasound. And the water in our body is the connector to source. We need that water in order to be a good, have a good connection to source. Well, in that same relationship, salt is coming up as the etheric body connection to source. We need that in our etheric body. So very much in our human body, as we sweat, we're always putting out salt in our etheric body. It keeps it clear in order for us to connect to the other side. So that's the information I was getting. So the salt of the earth, to humble yourself again, right? Relating to the pineal, the pi of the circle with the line down the middle, and the salt is the circle with the horizontal line, and the pi, and then the salt of the earth, kneeling down in prayer to be humble. To humble yourself is the pineal gland. Then connecting upward in phi, for the feminine to connect from the pineal upward and outside of herself, and the masculine to connect from his heart to his mouth and speak his truth. The pineal and the pi hole, the mouth. So we have the salt, the Na, the salt of the earth, to be, to reign. It's also the number 4 as well as the number 11 atomic number. 4 is the key to survival. It's manifestation on a survival on this planet level. The stability, the house, the home, the building, and the 11 of the truth, justice, and imbalance, right? The masculine and the feminine energies. Also, we're coming up the reflection of Na, which is An, which is the womb, the vessel, the man, alone, the cation ion, whereas the feminine, Na also means woman. I am that I am, woman, hear me roar, is the salt, Na. The man is the cation, the feminine is the anion. So a lot of ions were coming up here, the an ion and the cat ion. So the masculine is the cat ion, and the feminine is the an ion. Oh, and that's interesting. The feminine is the an ion, which is the connection to An because she's Na. Very interesting. So remember that we are salt water. That is what we're made of. And it was also interesting because the An man comes up as fresh water. The Na is the feminine salt water. The An is the fresh water. And when I was in the retreat in the south of France with Mercedes Kirkle, they do a baptism where Mary Magdalene was supposed to have done baptism where the salt water meets the fresh water. And that's where she does a baptism at the end of the week for the trip. And when I got baptized on that trip, there was one thunder roll There wasn't anything else the whole time for the whole group. Just when I went to get baptized, a thunder rolled. It was very cool. So there's something here about the saltwater and freshwater meeting, the saltwater being the feminine, the freshwater being the masculine, and the baptism of that. So that's coming up with the Strait of Gibraltar as well, which I'll get into in a minute. But yeah, some really cool stuff was coming up there. The twin flames, to be, to reign, both involve salt in it. I am that I am, number four, which is the Emperor, the home, stability, building, structure, a strong foundation. The number 4, the salt of the earth. And the 11, which is the feminine, the truth and the justice. The water and the woman, belonging to someone. And house, to the nth degree. The Sophia, Sophi, instead of so fly, Sophi. The second skin, the holder in the riot. The always, the one who stays and remains, like the ox's belly hanging down. The good half, the chakra system that gives you kisses and hugs. The part of Sophia that is the embodiment of source. The googly eyes, or in other words, dreamy. So we start here with the 603, and there's more messages that came up around that stuff as we go through the read. So stick around, there's some major messages coming up. So 603 is the lovers and the Empress, the abundance of the lovers. And we start off with the 6 of Cups reversed. Okay, so here's the 6 of Cups, the big card here with the clarifiers on top. And then I go 4 cards down here. The 4 cards down, I actually went 5 today because we had the 2 of Wands upright, the 4 of Wands upright, the lovers reversed, the 9 of Wands reversed, and then the 8 of Swords upright. So the bottom card, I went a 5th card because it was the 2 of Wands. After the 4 of Wands and the lovers just came up, which is the union and the twin flames. I wanted to show that card because all 3 of those came up in a row. The 2 of Wands, the 4 of Wands, the twin flames, the union, and the lovers. The lovers were reversed, which is showing that there's no physical affection there if you're not in union, okay? So there's uncomfortable energies here after twin flame union or twin flame home without affection, the breakup, surrender to prison. As uncomfortable as it may be, I am that I am. In energetic exchange, the arrows of love, the expression of feelings and desires, that fast-paced communication and travel, the arrows of love, home purging, dumped, pushed to the emotional limit, dumping a load, crying your eyes out, taming the beast, being strong, the lion, the ego, defenseless to energies and attacks or feeling ganged up on at home. Finding peace, removing the mask, the facade, the pattern, the program, and I will keep getting pogroms too, of holding tongue or lashing out, the 2 extremes. The Queen of Pentacles upright versus the Empress reversed and nuts. An issue at the workplace or third party and coming clean about it. Having your cake and eating it too. Ice cream and nuts or melon balls and the mother who's losing it. Can't work. No stepping up or down. Or in other words, misstepping without boundaries up, no guardrail aligned, or overstepping their boundaries. Planning on popping out of a cake, but cleaned up the act and or space after they were shamed, with their heart on their sleeve, in the rafters, the divine feminine put aside in the attic. Flowers for Algernon, left in the attic. And you don't bring me flowers anymore, nor do you come home from work. No more allowing the Jewish mother's guilt trip. Not making enough money or not home enough. You can't win. Only known that you're worthless, in their eyes anyway. Or a female boss who's never satisfied, so what's the point? Hierophant reversed, breaking away from the establishment, the institution, religion, a contract or marriage, divorce, or a Taurus reversed. Hanging out to see a perspective from below. Or the Queen of Swords, when they're dead tired, death be not proud. Near death, post-death, unending, trust, and beneath that, healing family issues, with Scorpio reversed, Capricorn upright, and Taurus reversed here. Gemini reversed, Leo upright, and Page of Swords upright, leaning on the truth, but no one is listening. They're only paying attention if their butt is the problem. Seven of Swords reversed, closing the distance gap. Seven of Cups fantasy, and the Emperor reversed, no longer mesmerized by trophy wife or the light she is bathed in or blessed in. Out of control, whether abuse or ego death, all exposed by sunshine, Leo, and happiness or kids. Energy, and how did I miss that? A fantasy that was actually real? The turtle, slow to romance, must knock him for a loop in order to come in, hiding out from the bounty that is his, and then watching his teacher toss the book from which he was taught, all for love and the Garden of Eden. So this was saying the masculine now seeing, like let's say his abuser or a father or whoever was so strict in a certain aspect, and all of a sudden he now throws the book away about that and does totally the opposite of what he was demanding his son do or his student do. And this is like the masculine or the feminine seeing their teacher now toss the book, and now it means nothing. All that they restricted themselves for now means nothing because the teacher who taught them that has now thrown that book out. So the teacher tosses the book from which he was taught, all in the name of love and the Garden of Eden. Morocco and the Berbers, where Morocco kisses Spain. The Rock of Gibraltar, which belongs to England, and its muse, Jebel Musa in Morocco, and Mount Hacho, owned by the Spanish. So there's a three-way play here. And the Rock of Gibraltar and this altar, the pathway, is the pathway to enlightenment regarding Atlantis, the opening to Atlantis, to enlightenment. So it's an etheric altar. But I was looking, they always say that the two pillars are the Rock of Gibraltar and then one of two, right? One of either Musa or the other, Hacho. So I'm looking at them, and the altar definitely looks like the one that's in Ceuta and the one that's in Morocco are the two pillars, and the Rock of Gibraltar is actually the middle altar pillar, which I'll get to in a second. So then Kings 6, 7, and 8 came up here. The temple under Solomon, regarding the Rock of Gibraltar and the pillars of Atlas. So under 15, for he cast two pillars of brass of 18 cubits high, and a line of 12 cubits did compass of them about. 16, made two chapiters of molten brass to set upon the tops of the pillars. The height of the chapiter was 12 cubits and other 5 cubits as well. So I'm not going to say it word for word, but because I do skip some words, but just to get the point across. And nets of checkerwork and wreaths of chain work for the chapiter upon top of the pillar, 7 and 7 on both sides, and then 2 rows round about upon the one network, and network came up yesterday, to cover with pomegranates, again on both sides, both pillars. Then the lily work in the porch, 4 cubits. The chapiters upon 2 pillars had pomegranates also above, over against the belly, which just came up, the intestines, which was by the network, and pomegranates were 200 in rows round about upon the other chapter. So again, weaving on top of the pillars across. And this was all coming up from DERINISTIH Barat, BARAT.wordpress.com. So the right pillar on the porch, Jachin, and the left Boaz, the top of the pillars, the lilies, the lily work, and then it was finished. So the mystery school with pagan philosophic, and Sophic is Sophie, the mystery school of pagan philosophic and phallic emblems and pomegranates and palm. So palm comes up a lot in the reads, but the palm-headed columns, the pillars before the door, the Babylonian or baby lion I was getting, the cherubim, the chamber, and the drapes. And drapes comes up a lot in the reads too. So all of the stuff that comes up in the cards is now coming up in the pillars, patterned after sanctuaries of Egypt and Atlantis. The eastern gateway, the pillars, which were 4 fingers thick. Here's the 4 of the emperor. A cubit equals 1 foot and 707 1,000ths. Again, 1 foot or 12 inches plus 707 1,000ths. A little more than 30 feet, 8 inches, which I just told you was the address of the house I just looked at. It was 701, and then the street name added up to 30. 8-foot bin capitals. The diameter of the shaft, 6 feet 10 inches. The bronze pomegranates with wreaths of bronzes, shape of seed, vessel lotus or Egyptian lily, sacred to the Hindus and the Egyptians. So all the decorations of the pillars. So the one pillar means he shall establish, the name, the Jachin. He shall establish. And the second pillar, in it is strength. The Boaz, or it means fort. It's like passive strength as opposed to active strength. So the Aleph is man, Bet woman, 1 is the principle, 2 is the word, A is the active, B is the passive. The monad equals the Boaz. The duad, Jachin. Okay, so the monad is the Boaz. The monad is the Boaz. The Jachin is the duad. In trigrams of Fohi, unity equals yang and duad equals yin. So what's coming up is the number 2, the feminine. The number 1 is the masculine energy here. So again, the duad is the Jachin. And the Boaz is the masculine energy, the one that is passive, like a fort, immovable. So joined together, they destroy one another. The sovereignty, the 2 pillars in their sovereignty is the power as one. But when they join, they destroy each other. The union of the 2 pillars is said to generate a 3rd pillar, one in the middle that represents man and mankind. When the 2 columns find equilibrium, it will signify union of the Sushumna and the Kundalini. The sacred marriage creates a fire mist to radiate throughout the body, filling it with divine light. Then humanity becomes the 3rd column, or the temple of wisdom, a column formed by combined forces of strength, or Jachin, and beauty, Boaz. This act forms the lost word in the vibratory system of the soul's physical embodiment. So it was kind of confusing as to which is masculine, which is feminine, because it kind of goes back and forth. But if Boaz is coming up as the monad is the Boaz, and the Boaz coming up as the beauty, the masculine, and the strength is the feminine. Okay? So when we look at the Rock of Gibraltar and the Pillars of Atlas, they always talk about the Rock of Gibraltar being paired with, right, the 2 Atlas pillars with either Musa or Hacho. So Hacho's belongs to Spain and it's in Ceuta, and then Musa is in Morocco and belongs to Morocco. Gibraltar is in Spain but belongs to England, so nothing rightly belongs to anyone. But when I look at it, the 2 pillars are actually Musa and Hacho, and Gibraltar is actually the 3rd pillar. It also works another way, that Spain and Morocco splitting, they are the 2 altars, and the United States, literally North Carolina, is the 3rd altar, because the strait is between the 35th to 36th parallel. Gibraltar is just above 36, like 36.18, something like that. But they all go from 35 to 36 in the Strait of Gibraltar, and so does North Carolina. It goes from 35 to 36. So specifically Raleigh and then Asheville, North Carolina are all on that same line of the opening of the mountains between Spain and Morocco. And also I was getting Morocco as being the Garden of Eden, and the oil has something very specific that's healthy to us, the olive oil that comes from Morocco. I can't remember what that ingredient is, but that definitely came up at some point. So the two pillars, the one on the left is the feminine pillar, the wisdom, the justice, the splendor. So that would reference the muse, right? That's the one in Morocco. It's called Musa, M-U-S-A for short, which is the muse, something to inspire you. The breast, the murine, the mouse, right? Like the Michael Jackson mouse, or the mouse that's in the picture in this deck. I think it's in the Gilded Tarot, where the Eight of Pentacles has the mouse, the muse at night to keep you company. The music, the song, the poem, the banana, the kindness, and the don't. Someone telling you no, right? Inspires you. That's the one in Morocco. If you look at the pillar as the Rock of Gibraltar being the third pillar, the feminine energy is Musa. The masculine energy is Hacho, which really means to axe, the one with the axe to grind. The intelligence, the mercy, and the firmness, right? The immovable strength. And then the third, which would be the Rock of Gibraltar, which is the crown, the beauty, the foundation, and the kingdom. All right? And notice that the crown, it's in Spain, but it's owned by England. But you notice it points to England, but then the straight points to the United States, which comes from England, right? The 13 colonies. And Spirit's connecting with me. So there you go. So again, we have Morocco and Spain as the two pillars coming together to form the third pillar, which is the Rock of Gibraltar, which is in Spain but owned by England, the crown. Okay? And then the crown made the 13 colonies of the United States, which, the mountains were separated to open the Strait of Gibraltar in order to head towards the 35th to 36th parallel, which is North Carolina. Okay? Very interesting there. So, and you notice the numbers, 35 and 36. 35 is the wounded warrior. 36 is the Atlas energy, the weight of the world upon your shoulders. And the Rock of Gibraltar comes from Jebel Tariq, T-A-R-I-Q, which means messenger, nocturnal visitor, the morning star, right? So to follow that star. So literally, the Gibraltar was the star pointing towards England from Spain, and then from England, we would come to America with the 13 colonies. And then the Strait of Gibraltar literally is the arrow pointing to the United States, the third pillar. Morocco, Spain, and the United States, North Carolina. So we continue this read, and then Brokeback Mountain was coming up too, right? Because Atlas broke the back of the mountain. Yep. And also, I wanted to bring up Gibraltar, because Gib means castrated male, or castrated male cat, or ferret, or a pocket, fold, a joint, movement. So the Rock of Gibraltar is the movement of the altar. And altar is a place of sacrifice. It's not a friendly place. And that's going to come up again in the read as well. So I'm just going to continue on. So 821 is strength in the world, personal growth, which is number 7, the chariot, and beneath that was happy ending, 93, which is a reflection of the Knight of Cups, being love. So withholding and dissatisfaction, detoxing, message or news, or the Page of Swords, their immaturity of communication. In the High Priestess was secret or psychic abilities, and the Page of Cups, message of love, or a child looking for or looking up to the Page of Swords or the King of Wands in order to inspire them or give love to them. Tights and sneakers, other performer, innocent left for dead, and no one to care except Bambi, the Page of Cups, the innocent, twinkle toes, hovering weightlessly over the water, and here's the water again, on a wing and a prayer and a breeze going down the Strait of Gibraltar. It's making me want to cry. The journey from there to the United States. Columbus. The King of Wands may be pissed at the kids, but they're not showing it. It can't be of his bloodline. He is the wands, but they're the cups and the swords, and detoxing easily, but he doesn't. The betrayal and uncomfortable energies, coming clean or cleaning up their act, after death, near death, or just dead tired, in dark night of the soul, and or the never-ending story of sunshine and the fruits of his labor. And remember, the dark night can come up as the meaning of the GibrAltar, the nocturnal visitor, the morning star. Okay, the rock of Gibraltar, the altar. And then I was watching Laura Eisenhower's altar video yesterday, which is, that can be very disturbing to listen to as well. People with witchcraft and everything, totally tormenting people's lives by, placing altars in their field. But and or the never-ending story of sunshine and fruits of their labor. The recent path is strength upright when the devil waves, tempting the Six of Cups, the innocent children now reversed and tainted from childhood abuse. On the outs with the high priestess or negative past, right? Someone's scared because maybe they had curses placed on them in the past. So now they don't trust someone who uses their psychic abilities because someone used them in a negative way when they were young. Or just an abusive childhood, right? Because just someone yelling at you and wishing hateful things to you is a curse, So between Capricorn and Pisces, Virgo and or high priestess or secret, the injustice of opportunity, invitation, dissatisfied with inequity of a relationship, the fallen angel, the impatience, no longer patient, taking forever to end, the Ten of Pentacles upright, family, business, or community, reaping the rewards of the Page of Wands' inspiration at 834, which is strength, the strength of Gibraltar, the 34 of the Eight of Wands, of expressing your feelings, the back and forth, and I'm getting again the Straits of Gibraltar, to go back and forth until the third is created. Building the bridge. Like, how do you go from the two mounts in Morocco and Ceuta to get across to Spain? All of the lives that are lost, to build that bridge, to get back home again, is what I'm getting right now. That's that Eight of Wands back and forth. So going back and forth to get to the Rock of Gibraltar, which then is owned by England, the crown takes it to England, and then it is passed forward, those wounds, from England to America, because England is the mother of America, right? And coming to America. And then Eddie Murphy. All right, and that's bringing up the black slave trade, because the black slave trade actually came from American Indians to England, and then passed to Africa, and then back to America through the slave trade. So that's coming up again as well. And there's lots of tears here. The foundation is the alchemy reversed, not blending. Sorry, it's a lot of very high energy coming through. Not blending, working to align with innocent, offer of message. The Page of Cups, the innocents, frustrated with them holding on, or grounded and being moderate. The central energy here at the heart of the matter is the solar deity, the sun, the full energy, the fully exposed. The imbalanced fallen angel offers the truth in exchange for dumping of the burdens, the load, the confession of the suffering in silence, perhaps the sister, and ending a nightmare, and healing, forgiving, or hoping for forgiveness anyway. Unhappy not getting their wish, or your wish, or just feeling alone, and challenged by the Chariot reversed, the state of emergency, the brokenness, the prisoner of the Knight of Wands, the one who wants to rush in and save people, dumping a load and knocking the fool for a loop, right? It's like Lucy hitting Charlie Brown in the head in order to get him to wake up. Wake up, Charlie Brown. That's why Lucy has to treat him that way, because he won't see her otherwise. It's like on the playground, why the little boy pulls the girl's hair, because she won't pay attention to him otherwise. The Knight of Wands rescuing the hostage, fallen from grace, the fallen angel, the wounded warrior, number 35 parallel, in surrender in a losing battle of saving face. The Queen of Wands, and I was getting Madonna too, right? Vogue and showing face. The Queen of Wands upright, undressing, without the curtain drawn, grieving loss, regret, and the Page of Pentacles upright, the student, the opportunity to hang out and see the King of Pentacles upright speak, perhaps at a home celebration. At 844, 844 is the 8 from the lap dance. The 44 is the 3D 8. The 4 and the 4. The structure, the stability, the need to survive on this planet and come up to the 5D and not just survive, but go to the 8 and manifest your dreams. With the Knight of Wands chiming in with heaven in their eyes. The Knight of Pentacles offering help or friendship to the Emperor reversed who ignored them in the past or stepped down or died before you could actually meet them. Now, in the present crowning moment, and there's England coming up, the Six of Pentacles reversed, the imbalance, the debt, the not sharing, the inequity, the scam, the destiny to trip up with the world, with the Divine Feminine in the 5D, or embarrassing self, unable to speak in front of people, right? God forbid you should be in a noble family and not be able to speak in front of people. And didn't that happen? I watched that movie. Who is the one who had trouble speaking in front of people? That's coming up. The Empress is upright here, and the Chariot reversed. Taurus broke them in, Brokeback Mountain. Taurus broke them in, and I want to bring that up too, because the angelfish is the symbol of Taurus when you turn it a quarter turn. So if you have a circle with a half circle, right, that is the symbol for Mercury, for the feminine energy, and you turn it on its side, that's the angelfish. But when that's upright, like on the Mercury, that's the symbol of Taurus. Taurus broke them in. The Knight of Pentacles, left for dead, and couldn't care less. Moving to peace away from the hermit, or professional, or moving away from a professional's care. The inequity of the relationship and stepping it up, taking a swing, spreading the word, advertising. For the Queen of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, world, complete, under the radar, losing hope of the Divine Masculine coming clean and choosing the twin flame path or the Strait of Gibraltar, with the Queen of Wands looking the other way, the Queen pretending not to know, Queen Elizabeth. The evil Empress reversed, refusing to wake up, holding their tongue, avoiding sudden changes, with the King of Swords on two different timelines in the state of emergency, or two air sign men at home, or twins with fantasy mirror, and the Knight of Wands along with breakup, a breakdown, breakthrough, or break in, or someone broken in or whipped. The grounding and integrating at the gate, being told what to do and where to go, and to wear a mask, and don't want any surprises. The Knight of Pentacles offering one to the Emperor, who's reversed, who's ignoring them. So the King of Pentacles offering one, and that could even be a mask to put it on, but the Emperor reversed, refusing to do it, which can reference Trump or your father who's losing their mind or just obstinate, right, and doesn't want to be told what to do. Soon as the Eight of Wands, energetic exchange, the feelings, the arrows of love, the offer of time, money, and effort, or a new life, to a depressed one, or Aquarius reversed, post-war, powerless, PTSD, or dependent, financial drain, reaping rewards in uncomfortable situation, of the Ten of Cups ending a cycle, or pretending to be happy or perfect, the Page of Cups looking back, feeling they just weren't enough, or stuck caring for their abuser, or kids. Here are the Page of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles, both upright, and the twin flames are the Tower reversed. Lots of little moments and or resisting the full changes, or in the aftermath of the cleanup, seeing synchronicities of the Queen of Pentacles upright, right, that stable, well-rounded, and nurturing person. The King of Pentacles holding their tongue, with the King of Cups reversed, grieving a loss, regret, the past, without a lover or in a breakup, and the Knight of Pentacles offering help to increase the deception, or up before dawn to work or help out, Cancer reversed, or deception between the Knight of Pentacles upright and the Queen of Pentacles. Perhaps the King of Cups reversed, Cancer, is an ex who interfered or secretly got involved to prevent them from coming together. Let your friends help, retreat, and reconciliation comes up for the twins. The King of Pentacles may be freaking out at the King of Cups reversed, who may be shamed, or workers at your home at the crack of dawn and or motorcycles revving their engines constantly down your street in order to make a statement at 9:03, which is the Hermit and the Empress, right? The Hermit isolating, trying to make a statement to the Empress, or vice versa. Around the twin flames, divine injustice, the Emperor reversed coming together and bored or past and is now being celebrated, or giving it a rest, and the Knight of Cups offering love to someone who may already know and is bored of waiting for the empty promises. And when I went to write no, I wrote now actually. So the now moment is very important there. So someone who may already know what they want to tell them and is actually now bored of waiting for their empty promises. Or the Emperor reversed is not invited to a celebration of the Knight of Cups. People telling him, oh, don't worry, it was boring anyway, but he wasn't invited. The block here for the masculine and feminine is the Queen of Pentacles, the one who snubs you or looks like they're cold, or the Page of Wands inspired to make up with the King of Wands reversed in spite of the Queen of Cups snubbing them. Teaching and learning, but even more so is spirituality here. Healing and trying to forgive the harsh truth that is presented, or healing from surgery or psychic surgery. And the King of Pentacles is at the gate with the truth, like Steve at Carrie's rehearsal dinner, trying to talk to Miranda. The King of Pentacles, Akashics of the past wounds, brought fully to light with synchronicities, and the Knight of Pentacles offer of help or friendship. Looking back at the breakdown and the Brokeback mountain, and issues at work, the insecurities, the lack of tools, the manipulations of the Empress reversed, exiling those with foolish behavior, or in other words, kicked out. And I'm getting to the workers, like who build the bridges. Like if they're not doing their job or risk their life building a bridge, because so many of them died falling into cement blocks or whatever, or drowned. Here's someone after them giving their life to her, and her now kicking them out without a second thought. The Knight of Cups offering to hang out, destined, or the Knight of Cups offering and hung out to dry. But all this destined, and now that the worst is over, getting a massage or feeling the bliss now setting in, one sword falling out at a time. The King of Wands overseeing, apart from the group, clearly resting or refusing to wake or get up in the aftermath of events or drama or an epiphany of betrayal, and bleeding out to get past the past, choosing a new path, not sharing or in debt, with hermit, advisor, friend, or professional chiming in with their advice. Uncomfortable, not meshing perhaps in the aftermath of injustice, being strong, exposed, and fully energized, and challenged by the brokenness and the arrows of love. And then Shakespeare's coming up. What is it about the arrows of love and the brokenness? I can't remember the line, but that's coming up. The Queen of Pentacles in unfair relationship with the King of Pentacles living in the past. The Knight of Cups offering love to the Hanging Man, destined, and now that the worst is over. The Twin Flames union without physical affection, surrendering to the prison sentence and being strong in the betrayal of it. The fallen angel and losing patience, exposing all and getting sunshine, kids, time instead. The challenge being the state of emergency and perhaps travel restrictions, the imbalance, the debt, the not sharing, and lots of little disturbances and post-war cleanup duty after the energetic exchange or hours of love, expression of feelings and desires, and fast-paced communication and travel. The injustice of the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles looking back. The king and the queen can go back to the green, but they can never go back there again. The Knight of Cups offer of love to hang out with destiny. Capricorn upright, Libra upright, Aries reversed, Leo upright, Cancer reversed, Virgo reversed, Gemini reversed here, and Taurus reversed here at 9:23, which is the Hermit and the King of Wands. Ending the pain, being love, wise, and destined to high vibe. Okay? So that was the read, very profound. And I'm going to pull you an energy card here. I think I'll pull you a Journey of Love card too. It's 49, 58. 49 is the Get Your Wish card. 58 is the 5D connection. All right, so for everybody watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? All right, got two cards come out. 24 is the Queen of Wands and the end of karma on a local level. 45 is the Five of Cups, the grieving, right? The grieving of the past, the grieving of loss, regret, guilt, and shame, whatever the grief is. The divine masculine part of you is holding that grief. He's holding his heart. He's now awakening to the things that he's pushed down and the adjacent possibilities, even when there's a window knocked out. Like, why didn't I see that before? Okay. And then the rest and rejuvenation that wants to come up again. This came up yesterday too, of the sun and spending time meditating in the sun to get the codes from both the outer sun and the inner sun. And I'm getting the halls of Akashic Records here, which I don't usually get, but it's very obvious today. The halls of Akashic Records and the masculine dealing with his past by meditating and receiving the sun from without and within. And here is the bottom of the deck is the broken heart. Again, we need to expand the heart in order to heal it and grow. And we have the 38 of the Queen of Cups again. Now that's interesting. This is my soul number, my life lesson number. So they're coming up together. The woman holding the heart is coming up in the underlying energy, waiting for the man with the heart. And this is also the Queen of Cups, right? The fourth chakra focusing on her heart. And there's the heart healing. So that's perfect, right? The woman holding the heart, focusing on her heart, which is her other, and healing the brokenness between them. Okay, the 9 of the Hermit. That's the underlying energy. And I showed you this masculine energy here of Akashic Records and facing his wounds and healing them with the sun without and the sun within. And then these three cards want to come up next together of the happy family, right, with the rainbow bridge, the bridges that we're talking about, and the 6th chakra Archangel Metatron using your third eye and that expansiveness of the bridge. And here's the 1st chakra Archangel Michael, which is the strong foundation we need to build first, of the number 4. And this is the 40 of the Page of Cups, the innocence, and the 35 of the wounded warrior. And then here again is the 4 and the underlying energy being the 9, which is the Hermit. The Hermit, the Emperor, the Page of Cups, the innocence, and the wounded warrior. Right? Needing to expand the family because we're all one across the bridge, right? To go from England to the Americas, no matter what the bridge is, going from Morocco to Spain and then to England and then to the United States, that it's all one big rainbow bridge. To use your third eye and expand to the innocence of us all, the 4 of the Emperor to the 4-0 of the Page of Cups, just putting that embodiment of Source behind the 4 takes the Emperor to the innocence of the Page of Cups. And then we have the wounded warrior who's always there in the foundation to maintain the ability to survive on this planet, okay, and go beyond, to infinity and beyond. Buzz Lightyear. Okay, so I'm getting Woody and Buzz Lightyear and the bridge between them. And aren't they friends, right? If they can do it, anyone can, right? Because they're very different. Woody and Buzz Lightyear. I love how Spirit brings these things through. It's so cool. All right, guys. And I think, let's see. Yeah, I'll pull you real quick, just one card from the Journey of Love that I'll read to you, and that's it. From the Journey of Love. Really good read today, guys. Wow. takeaway message for everybody watching today. Drop into your heart. Perfect. 68 is the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is the one who's always ready to start again, right? To expand to something new, a new project, a new opportunity, a new invitation. And here very much is the spiral of the energy with the pink and the green, right? The magenta and the emerald intertwined, the masculine and the feminine. All right, let's read that one. The bottom of the deck is the cloak. And that's very much that beautiful purple energy and yellow. The colors are beautiful in this. 50 is the family again, that 10 of cups. Emotional fulfillment of the self first. And that third eye to the crown, right? The crowning glory of knowing yourself first, right? Loving yourself, the glory of that. And then being able to drop back into your heart, okay? And combine the magenta into the emerald. And mix, it's like the kundalini energies coming up and mixing together, dropping into your heart, into the cup. Going from the cup that is your third eye to the cup that is your heart. Oh, that's because there's a reference to the magenta there of the phi energy, right? Because the pi is the line within the circle, the phi is the line extending outside the circle. So for the masculine, it's from the heart to the mouth. And for the feminine, it's from the third eye to the crown, to go outside herself. Him is to go outside himself through speaking his truth, and her to go outside herself through exiting her crown to the outer realms. All right, so drop into your heart. 68. There is a place of light within that no darkness can touch. It cannot be shamed. It can never be made impure. It is never lost or darkened or unavailable to us. Though we may forget sometimes, sitting in a darkened room and not realizing that we can stand up and walk into the light so close to us, just on the other side of the doorway to the heart. And this is referencing the dawn as well, right before the sun comes up. Whatever may rise, great joy, great sorrow, drop into your heart and offer it to the divine. Gently bowing your forehead to your hands in prayer, connect mind and heart. Let yourself have some peace. It wants you to know. So again, this is paralleling the third eye and the heart, but the masculine and the feminine. This oracle brings you an offering. The divine would like you to offer whatever is bringing your heart trouble, or of course, joy. The divine would like to receive this from you as a gift, that it may return to you some special blessing. Place your hands at your heart in genuine reflection. Perhaps you may choose to offer your heart burden or light now. So here's that now as opposed to no. Either will be joyfully received by the divine and define. Either will be joyfully received by the divine. So there's something about defining yourself and allowing it to be received by the divine. And you shall be graced with a gift in return. And the poem simply says, longing. And isn't that the twin flame journey? The dance to move beyond the feeling that draws me forward to a place born within that calls my soul to feel complete. And there's your message. The message to tweet. Make sure you drink your water, guys. Make sure you get your rest. Make sure you get your joy in your nature and just love yourself first, and don't allow anyone to stop you from being love. And of course, as always, rise and be loved, guys. Have an amazing day.